The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, show number 721. Welcome to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, helping you celebrate Celtic culture through music. I am Mark Gunn. I'm a Celtic musician and also host of Folk Songs and Stories. This podcast is for fans of Celtic music. We're here to build a diverse Celtic community and help the incredible artists who so generously share their music with you. If you hear music you love, please email the artists, let them know you heard them on the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, and support them. Musicians depend on your generosity to release new music, so please find a way to support them. Buy a CD, album, pen, shirt, digital download, or join the community on Patreon. You can find a link to all of the artists in the show notes, along with show times, when you visit our website at CelticMusicPodcast.com. And you can also send an email to follow@bestcelticmusic.net to learn how to subscribe to the podcast and get a free music-only episode. And bands can learn how to submit their music to the podcast. If you enjoy the show, make sure you pick up an Irish and Celtic Music Podcast album pin. Each of the pins are themed to a particular album, and you get a digital download of the album, and then you can wear your album. I am back from Gen Con, and I had a fantastic time. My voice is a little hoarse once again, a little too much fun, and constantly going, but I had a great time. I got to meet some folks actually who listen to the podcast out there. So hello. I should have a couple intros that will be on the podcast from those folks. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we kicked off the show with Andrew Finn Magill from his new album, Courting the Sun. That was the Fiddle Bridge, the Littlest Pint, and Rémi's Reel. Next up is Agee Jon Sousa with Farewell to Belfast from Ceol na gCarad.
over Hamish. See the twilight merge to dawn, and they walk down to the sand. Their silhouettes are on the water as they paddle hand in hand, and it's a game of sweet surrender when there's nothing left to say. But there are moments to remember when these days are long away. I've been walking, walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the way. I've been walking, walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. So you look out on the ocean, see the headlands and the strands, and you wonder what horizon will shape tomorrow's plans. And through the turning of the seasons and the cycle of the days, every dream's another reason to let tomorrow sail away. I've been walking, walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. I've been walking, walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. I've been walking, walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. I am walking, walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. But with you by my side, I am walking on the waves.
good work shining bright. I've waited all day for my chance to play. I'll fiddle all night and I'll sleep all day. This old fiddle seen every place. Miles on the road and dust on the case. Hey diddle diddle and I hop to the right like a cat with fiddle in the pale moonlight. And the spoon ran away last night. Hope the fork and the knife will be alright. This old fiddle seen every place. Miles on the road and dust on the case. Hey diddle diddle and I hop to the right like a cat with a fiddle in the pale moonlight. So small, new shoes I'd wear. I joined that thither for a dance or two. I'd leap and I'd tap till he told me shoo. This old fiddle seen every place. Miles on the road and dust on the case. Hey diddle diddle and I hop to the right like a cat with a fiddle in the pale moonlight. This old fiddle seen every place. Miles on the road and dust on the case. Hey diddle diddle and I hop to the right like a cat with a fiddle in the pale moonlight.
After Agee Jon Sousa came Willowgreen with Walking on the Waves from Sheila's Brush, then Ghost of a Banshee with Celtic Canon from Along the Rural Trail. And we finish up the set with the Gothard sisters. That was the Cat and the Fiddle from their album Midnight Sun. And I am still waiting patiently for their brand new album, which should be out sometime soon, I hope. Fingers crossed. I want your feedback. What are you doing today while listening to the podcast? You can send a written comment along with a picture of what you're doing while listening. Email a voicemail message to CelticPodcast@gmail.com. Kate emailed, I'm a novelist and I've taken to listening to the podcast while I write. The lively music helps me write at a faster rate and got me through my last 4 books at record pace. To be honest, I don't think I'm going back. The back catalog is so vast, it'll get me through the rest of my career. Ain't that the truth, Kate? I wonder how long, I don't know how long it'll take to listen to the entire series of podcasts, all 720 episodes. But wow, it will take you, it could take some time. Dolfu R. Fernandez emailed, Hi, Mark. My name is Dolfu. I'm a fiddler from Asturias in Europe. I'll be in Port Townsend, Washington State in Fiddle Tunes Festival from June 29th through July 6th. Really happy to be in the U.S. for the first time, and I will send you some Asturian music to celebrate this great moment. Years ago, I used to play in a group called DRD with some super musicians, Ruben Bada on bouzouki, guitars, and fiddle, and Borja Barranio on flutes and pipes. There are 2 CDs by the band. I hope you like it. Congrats for your amazing podcast. It's my soundtrack to go work every day. And I hope you take some time during your vacation to visit us. We are the neighbors of Galicia. All the best. Thanks so much, Dolfo. I can't wait to get your music onto the podcast. And thanks so much for completing the permission form. That is the way that you get your music onto the show, is by completing that permission form. And then I get you on the show. So thank you. I will do my best to get that on very soon. All right, let's get back to the music. Next up is the AML Trio with Pride of Pimlico from Sons of Erin's Isle.
Come, all ye broken-hearted ones, and listen to me lay. It's all about a damsel as fair as any may, who's caused such tears and sorrow, such grief and heartfelt woe. It's Kitty Quinn I'm speaking of, the pride of Pimlico. It's just about a month ago into this place she came, and set our hearts a-blazing up in love's undying flame, and made of every other lass about the place a foe, because she took their sweethearts in the pride of Pimlico. Poor Paddy Burke the tailor now can't do a stroke of work, nor Billy Shea the handyman, nor steady Jack McCurk. And if you ask the reason, all they'll answer you is oh, 'tis all because of Kitty Quinn, the pride of Pimlico. And Murphy the teetotaler, he's gone upon the spree, and Joe the whiskey drinker, he's now taken milk and tea. He's given up his Jameson, and it isn't just for show. He says his heart's distracted by the pride of Pimlico. And even Payne the miser, who no one could get around, and young Tom Ray, who owns a pub and half the house is round, and Matt McCann, whose father keeps the Irish waxwork show, are raving night and day about the pride of Pimlico. When it's time the Gardaí saw to it, or it soon will be too late. No bachelor in all the coombe is in a normal state. Soon in the Undertaker's place, a sight of awful woe, you'll see 10,000 victims of the pride of Pimlico.
spend your leisure, bereft of pleasure, amassing treasure? Why scrape and save? Why look so canny at every penny? You'll take no money within the grave. Landlords and gentry, with all their plenty, must still go empty where'er they're bound. So to my thinking, we'd best be drinking, our glasses clinking, and round. An long sala níl cúna cearda nach gCarad ar fudden down war. Óriach na Spáine go Sús Gibraltar go sin san nát a míon an Gran Signor. Le gCarad go ag lína málín I chunig an Bascua I gcór nó gó. Mar sin na chairda níl bart níos fardún ní bheith mar táimid chur Preab san ól. King Solomon's glory, so famed in story, was far outshone by the Lilies' guise. But hard winds harden both field and garden, pleading for pardon, the lily dies. Life's but a bubble of toil and trouble, the feathered arrow once shot ne'er found. So lads and lasses, because life passes, come fill your glasses for another round. An ceannaí cúrasach níl meo na sliabe, le óra dhéanamh nach vector gó. An rát is díra, an ara is sira, sa luch sé fingin na corach corón. Sta cain cúrastas ní do dhéanta, an cabal ciacroch or tríd an gró. Mar sin sta bhrísin níl bart níos críana, na bheith go sirí chur Preab san ól. The huckster greedy, he blinds the needy, their strifes unheeding shouts money down. His special vices, his fancy prices, for a florin's value he'll charge a crown. With hum for trammel, the scripture's camel missed the needle's eye and so came to ground. Why pine for riches, why still you've stitches to hold your breeches up another round?
Make your way to the sacred well where Bridget and her sisters dwell. Bring your worries and your concerns to the healing waters and the fire that burns. Let it all go, let it all go. Surrender your heart for the goddess to unfold. Let it all go, release your woes to the flame that burns and the water that flows. Make your way to the sacred flame where saint and goddess share the name of Bridget, blessing our sons and daughters by the fire that burns and the healing waters. Let it all go, let it all go. Surrender your heart for the goddess to unfold. Let it all go, release your woes to the flame that burns and the water that flows. Make your way to the sacred well, where Bridget and her sisters dwell. Bring your worries and your concerns to the healing waters and the fire that burns. Let it all go, let it all go. Surrender your heart for the goddess to unfold. Let it all go, release your woes to the flame that burns and the water that flows, to the flame that burns and the water that flows, to the flame that burns and the water that flows.
Ye mourners all as you pass by, come in and drink if you are dry. Oh, spend your money, think not amiss, and pop your nose in a jug of this. Well, you tipplers all, if you have a crown, you're welcome all for to sit down. Just call your drinks and think not amiss. Spend your life in a jug of this. Oh, and I am old, I can scarcely crow, with a long grey beard and a head that's bald. Crown my desire and fulfill my wish, a pretty young girl and a jug of this. And when I am in my grave and dead, and all my sorrows past and fled, transform me then into a fish, let me swim in a jug of this. Jug of this.
After the AML trio came the Lilies of the Midwest with A Walk on the Shore from Cat's Ceili, then McFloosey with Preab Ceol from Fiacre's Fell, then Celia Farran with Bridget's Well from Irish Song Compilations by Celia Farran, and we finish up the set with Jug of This by the Langers Ball from their 2025 album Drinking Song Sing Along. Thank you so much to all of the generous patrons of the podcast. We've had a slew of new patrons and people upgrading their membership. I really appreciate it. We're getting close to fixing that financial imbalance that I told you about in past episodes. So thank you. I think we're a couple $100 away from that, but Thank you so much. Because of generous patrons like you, the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast releases new episodes nearly every single week. Your support doesn't just fund the show, it fuels a movement. It helps us share the magic of Celtic music with thousands of new listeners and grow a community of music lovers all around the world. Your contributions pay for everything behind the scenes: audio engineering, stunning graphics, weekly issues of the Celtic Music magazine, show promotion, and most importantly, buying the music we feature from indie Celtic artists. And if you're not yet a patron, you're really missing out. Patrons get early access to episodes, music-only editions, free MP3 downloads, exclusive stories and artist interviews, a vote in the Celtic Top 20. Join us today and help keep the music alive, vibrant, and independent. Special thanks to our new and continued patrons of the podcast: Cascadia Cross-Border Law Group, Kyle Darple, Genevieve Slunka, Tubaphonia, Jennifer Van Boxel, and Shauna Quarter. And the Cascadia Cross-Border Law Group is our second underwriter for the show. Thank you all so much for supporting this podcast. Here is your 3-step plan to support the podcast. Number 1, go to our Patreon page. Number 2, decide how much you want to pledge every month. $4, $12, $25. Number 3, keep listening to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast to celebrate Celtic culture through music. You can become a generous patron of the podcast on Patreon at songhinge.com. Chloe Matharu is up next with Sailors and Rolling Stones from her same-titled album.
Been counting down the days to this moment. Been a couple of months I've been away at sea, hoping there'll be no more hold-ups. My replacement will be standing on the quay. Free
After Chloe Matharu came Austral with Edgy in Zurich from Thylacine, then Playsuit by Jaywalkers from Move On, and we finished up the set with Journey North. That was Kruger's pipe set from their self-titled album. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm really excited to have some time where I'm not traveling. I think that was my last big trip, going to Indianapolis, and now I'm home for a month and a half. Have a little bit of stuff going on, but not as nearly as much. If you enjoy the music in the show, please vote in the Celtic Top 20 for 2025. This is our way of finding the best songs and artists each year. You can vote for as many songs and tunes that inspire you in each episode. Your vote helps me create this year's Best Celtic Music of 2025 episode. You have just 3 weeks to vote this year. You can follow our playlist on YouTube to listen to the top voted tracks as they are added every 2 to 3 weeks. Thank you so much for listening. We're going to finish up the set with the Friel sisters. This is Just a Note. It's from their album Northern Sky. Thank you again. I am so grateful to have you here. Thank you. Sláinte.
Just a note for the time that is short, dear. Hard is the work along the day, but my fond heart, it is with you, Mary. Although I am many, many miles away. Kiss the children for me, Mary. Do not let them pine nor grieve. Tell them how I am working for them, and why our home I had to leave. Building dams, airfields and factories, moving concrete by the load, but I'll be with you in November, when I am finished working on the road.
Support for this program comes from Cascadia Cross-Border Law Group, creating transparent borders for more than 25 years, serving Alaska and the world. Find out more at CascadiaLawAlaska.com. Support for this program also comes from international speaker Joseph Dumond, teaching the ancient roots of the Gaelic people. Learn more about their origins at CitedMoon.com. And the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast was produced by Mark Gunn, the Celt Father, and our patrons on Patreon. The show is edited by Mitchell Peterson, with graphics by Miranda Nelson Designs. Visit our website to follow the show. You'll find a link to all the artists played in this episode. Todd Wiley is the editor of the Celtic Music Magazine. Subscribe to get 34 Celtic MP3s for free, plus you'll get 7 weekly news items about what's happening with Celtic music and culture online. Best of all, you will connect with your Celtic heritage. Please tell one friend about this podcast. Word of mouth is the absolute best way to support any creative endeavor. Finally, remember, our planet's future rests in your hands. The overwhelming evidence shows that human activity is driving climate change, from record-breaking heat waves to rising sea levels to flooding. But the good news, we have the power to fix it. Every choice we make, reducing waste, conserving energy, supporting clean energy, and lobbying our political leaders, moves us toward a more stable climate. Start a conversation today. The facts are out there, and the future is ours to shape. Promote Celtic culture through music at CelticMusicPodcast.com.